Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con over.
This is Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we got flam panzers over here on Shechedrin, so I'm not going to take up too much of your space. Rang, like I said, Shechedrin, what's going on? Monthly tournament, who do we have?
Fan side in the blue, we have Tigger playing the Hermann Goran Jaeger Panzer Division with a Maverick income. And on the right hand side in red, we have the new North Division being piloted by her Robert with a Vanguard income.
Super exciting. I know you gave me the lowdown here just a couple seconds ago about this new division. So what do we expect from the Yugoslav partisans?
So, they are meme division. They're not really supposed to be good, as they're more of a partisan division than for frontline fighting. But really just a lot of cheap, decent infantry spam, very poor anti-tank in general, and a lot of air spam as well, potential. But in this case, Robert didn't really take a whole lot of air power. So he's really just going to have to rely a lot on all of the partisans.
Knife fight to the north. Forgive me, but knife fight to the north. Check this out. So many machine guns and Sturm Pioneers and boys rifles, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, like, so dumb looking. We've got the flam panzers coming in. But this is going to be, I think, a bit tough for her, Robert, as he does lack a lot of anti-tank. And Tigger has brought in a lot of very good fire support vehicles. I mean, you got all the recon cars, you got all the support vehicles as well, the Panzer III, the Flam Panzers. I mean, those S-35s are going to have to pick up a lot of slack.
True. B-26 Marauder coming on in, nuking a couple of materials here. Now, quick thing as, before they get killed, look, right about now, like you said, there are some rather plucky infantry. Very, very solid, don't get me wrong. And about 18 different versions of just anti-tank rifles and rifles. I mean, it's almost impossible just to kind of tell you everything that exists inside this division in terms of straight weaponry.
Yeah, it's just cheap and spammy infantry is really the best way to describe it. There's nothing like super infantry style, like some dudes with like 17 STGs and a MG42. It's just lots of boat actions and like Molotovs and all of that.
True. I find myself rather amused by the fact that some of them have solar thrones, some of them have boys anti-tank rifles.
Yes, it's had to make do with what I got, which wasn't a lot.
Yes, indeed. No, it wasn't. Grilled down to the south, looking to try to barbecue some of these Yugoslavian troops here. Which actually, I'm guessing right about now, technically is no longer the accepted term for them. But, you know, the jury's out. These guys have M38s galore. They got, the Carcano M91s. So that's the, the bolt-action rifle from forever ago from the Italians. And in the center, the Lovchi Tenkova with their boys. They're engaging two light vehicles. They die. But you know what? They were just gosh darn, just good luck to them. That's all I can say.
And we've seen Tigger really invest a lot of armor up north. He's got the T-34 Russian going in hot with the Flam Panzers, which I like to see. But her Robert has been able to take the position. He's got, I don't want to really call them anti-tank guns, the Italian 47 mils. They're barely anti-tank to begin with, but he got them up north, and he also got the S-35s a bit close. Yeah, a little bit outgunned, but he could probably pick off one or two of these Panzer IIIs before they...
He's got a 75 mil.
Oh, he does. Oh yeah, he has one card or two.
He gets two.
Okay. He has one card of the Pack 40 and one card of Pack 38, which are gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting. A lot of heavy lifting.
But you know what? These guys in the front, they're doing their job. They're supposed to be there taking... Oh wow, and they're getting kills already actually. So I can't hate on them too much.
Yeah, the S-35 is honestly not that bad of a tank. It's really one of the best tanks French man's built before, like, lost the war early on.
Yeah, but it's not exactly what you want to hear. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rough way to talk about it. B-26 coming in again, though, trying to stress all those T-34s. Nukes one. And while this Pack 40 is going to go down, just by getting Virtue just getting shellacked from every angle, the 47 mils might be enough just to, like, crit out the T-34.
Yeah, they do fire fast enough to just, cause a lot of suppression damage here, and you've got more S-35s in the back line as well. So yeah, might just have enough just DACA to ward him off.
I love the fact he's bringing 47 mil in super close, and these T-34s are going right next to it. He's going to catch him in the flank. He's actually going to get 2 kills here. Watch this. I said he could.
Bounces off the flank.
He could. He could. I love the fact that I said could. He got one.
You know your anti-tank gun's great when you bounce off the side of a T-34.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, but we've got the auto-armoured cars up north and down south flanking about, just ignoring the infantry, getting themselves into a very nice position here to hit the S-33s from the side, or S-35s from the side.
The S, though, and the S-35 are screwed.
Yes.
So we can see one of those go down just about now. 47 mil is desperately cranking around, trying to engage a T-31, even as the guy behind him hits him with a 100 mil. Yeah, oh jeez, this is ugly. I can't watch. That's like watching baby seals get clubbed. Down to the south, the town fight is, as you might expect it, vicious. As all these Valkyries move on, and air/troop and more Valkyries, and my Pioneer is coming the other direction, as well as the Commandeer. So, if you're looking for the most expensive thing in the entire deck, it almost isn't an airplane, it's just the officer unit.
It is.
Which is wild to think about, but...
But these Pioneer are pretty good infantry squads. For 20 points, they're beefy as hell, and yes, they're only about action rifles and Carcanos, yeah. But they do have satchel charges, and you don't have to really be that motivated to chuck a satchel charge 100 meters.
Well, the funny thing, too, is that, yes, they only have bolt action, but there's 15 freaking bolt actions. So, again, yeah, you're not getting much suppression, but when you multiply that by 15, there you go. That's a little bit better. They're taking a Valkyrie squad, and when you can buy 2 to 1 every single time, that's still really, really damn good.
Oh, and up close, you just, you know, eat that grenade, and anybody dies. No one survives.
True. True. More Pioneers moving on in. Commandeer gets brought on in. Northern side, it's all about that freaking just armor push. And actually, right now they have Piats, and that's it. And the Marauder comes back in for a, an nth time, which is, I think, it's the only thing he's going to really be able to do. Is just bomb this guy to hell and back.
Oh. Armada is pretty scary because it does pretty much have almost 2,000 kilograms of big kaboom. And as you see, it's enough to actually blow up a tank.
And most of the township around it. Yep. And even the Valkyrie, who was not within 200 meters, still decides that it's better to keep their heads down, which I can kind of understand.
A very respectable position on their part. This is where it's going to get a bit tough here for her, Robert. He's already lost a decent amount of tanks and anti-tank firepower up north. And Tigger is getting into a pretty decent position here. He doesn't have a whole lot of tanks left. But if he was to secure himself onto the opposing lung, his lung has been ruptured a little bit just by only really 2 infantry squads. That's not scary to deal with. Of course, you don't know how much is actually... Oh, there's also an anti-tank gun behind lines. We gotta keep an eye on that guy.
Oh yeah, the Pack 40. Oh yes, yeah. Stuff 1 just about now. I'm sorry, I was watching the Zerg rush below as Robert said everything. Control A, move. He's A moving. It's fantastic, and I love the fact that Proletariat is right there with the Panzerhaus MG34s, and just like those guys are scary.
Yeah, it's just a random hodgepodge of whatever the hell they could find.
But they're so good.
Yeah, 20 points. Yeah, for 20 points, it's not bad at all. Raider trait, Panzerfaust, 2 SMGs, MG30. That's not bad. That's really not bad.
And yes, when a grill fires and turns them all into paste, that does suck. But all this infantry can't get anywhere close. Because the Proletariat just starts hammering them with machine gun fire, and bolt actions to start to support it. You can see, look, this Pioneer comes in, this Fuhrer comes in, and this officer, not expecting to get shot at all, gets pounded. Absolutely pounded.
Absolutely. I also like how he had to buy a second grill, because his first grill ran out of ammunition, and he doesn't have any supply trucks to a B phase. Yeah, I do like how he's using the grills, as he's just using them as a fire position artillery, which works well. I mean, there's 2 choke points, pretty much the roads being those choke points, and you just kind of keep shooting. 150 millimeters will eventually dissuade people from coming a little bit too close, but not that much, it seems, as her Robert is just going to keep on, the push of the Proletariat.
Yeah, you know, actually, I watched a video the other day about the Decemberists, and I'm not saying those guys are the proto proletariat, but I don't know, man. I just for some reason that comes to mind as you're just watching this wave of red just kind of charge down the street.
Ugh. That's a lot of dudes. I'm just thinking, you know, one good bombing run or off-map artillery strike and down they go. But alas, that will not be happening. There's not a whole lot of air power or really artillery from Tigger's side. He's invested heavily in more of the direct armor firepower.
Yeah, which is a very understandable idea, and you gotta respect it. Yikes, T-34s are engaging the S-35 from huge amounts of range. But right now, the grills are probably going to die.
Oh yeah.
And right now, those guys to the north, the armor push is deadly, but that Pack 45, that Pack 40, not Pack 45, um, sitting in defilade, not a whole lot to fear.
Yeah, we're just seeing a pretty heavy investment here from Tigger down south. A lot of tanks. I think he probably overinvested a little bit too much in tanks here. I understand tanks are pretty good against infantry, but this is a town fight, and it gets a little bit dangerous if you bring in your tanks this close.
Yep. Yep. Well, like you said, Pioneery coming on forward, not a whole lot of bravery necessary, just to yeet high explosive into the window, and they do so. And the Valkyries, apparently, well, they're selecting themselves as being the slain in this particular case.
Yeah. We're seeing the S-35 and Blindata flank around down south, where it's a lot less armoured heavy, and they can knock out both grills would be a very good kill.
True. Well, S-35 kills one, and the other grill goes down to the blind. Now, there are a couple of troops here, like the Borshi, for example. These guys, I don't know if I really feel as plucky about them. They're engaging air/trooping right about now, and which means they'll probably kill both of them. But I don't know. How do you feel about the 20 points in this case? I'm conflicted.
Yeah, just more standard rifle squad, really. They're nothing super crazy. They do get the Raider trait, which is nice, but you know, yeah, I do kind of prefer my disheartened GT dudes. I just like the idea of just a bunch of guys like, guess we'll run into machine gun fire and chuck a satchel charge.
Let's go do it for Stalin.
Yeah. Well, Tito.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
They love their vodka. Oh, wrong Tito. Yeah, you're right. Solo third behind enemy lines here. He is taking out an armored car, so sells his life for the cause and does a very good job while doing it. And these T-34s, yeah, they are there, and they're going to check the rush for now, but Herr Robert's got the territory. What does he care?
Yeah, he's pretty much... You're not going to be extending really much from that position anyway. If he can get that far southern flag, that would be ideal. But even now, Tigger reasonably cannot get into that town. Period. Full stop. Exclamation mark. It's an absolute red bloody tide. They have seized the means of the houses and of the small arms. It's just... There's no way. Tigger just needs to focus in the center and up north to really have a good shot of winning this match.
Well, the funny thing about this is, first of all, a Storm Pioneer moving across the lungs. This is probably the first time I've really seen the lungs get completely and totally ignored. The second thing is, Valkyries coming into the southern side. 5 squads of Valkyries. Okay, that's fine. 6 squads of Corsantes going the other direction. So it's like, good luck.
Yeah, you just get enough. Have the tanks around the town. Treat it like Escape from New York. It's a convict area. We don't go inside. You just warden it off. And here comes the Marauder. Just a nucleus offensive.
Yep, and that P3 might even go down. He's at least forced to fall back. That's just as good. And this is actually how he drops 14th. It goes to 14 tanks. This other Valkyrie squad's going to get taken out. So, he did lose part of the lung. And it is going to be a problem because there's a Pack 38 there. And the Pack 38 is not quite worth its weight in gold, but it's worth an awful lot. Ooh, Ju-87's coming on in. Ju-87 with the cluster. Ju-87 with the actual bombing run. Interesting.
See... Huh.
I I agree with it. I think that's just probably the best
Yeah.
call he can make under the circumstances.
The
It's just,
Kersanti.
yeah.
I like his push.
So do I. I think the funny thing about this is that there's just this one boy's rifle that's firing at the T-34, which is just not going to do anything for a long, long time.
Oh boy. No, this is way too much focus down south here from Tigger. He needs I mean, he can secure his lung position. You shut up the tanks, long range. You pretty much got it in the bag. There's only like one Pack 40 on the field, another one which can be brought up. And after that, there's no real scary tanks. Heck, there's not even that much scary airplanes. I mean, the moderate scary, but you can deal with that. Same thing with the Baltimore. Just get some anti-air. You got flak 88. You got the verbal rind on the track.
True. You do have all of those things, true. But you also don't own the real estate to the south.
Yeah.
Also, look, there's a Pack 38 slowly getting brought on in. It's like, oh, yes, you've wasted half your ammunition on that from the boys on that tank. Sure. In that case, then, let's bring in a Pack 38, the door knocker. Let's do this. Oh, yeah.
I've never seen so much just, like, stuff in that southern town before.
Yeah, that is true.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, but again, like you said, it doesn't matter. It's completely unnecessary.
It's unnecessary for Tigger to push, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, though, his Shrimp Pioneers, they are going to get the lung, except bombs.
Hooray.
Ooh.
Oh.
One actually got completely whiffed on. Interesting.
Very lucky. That's going to allow Tigger to clear off the lung, secure the flag, and as you see, he has a lot of panzers up north. He's got the Valkyries being brought in to secure the lung position. This is looking pretty good here for Tigger.
It's looking better for Tigger, yes. He still has some ground to make up here.
Like, he can just contain that town.
Well, the problem is at the southern side, now there's just Baltimore's and Marauders just gonna pound every single tank again and again and again and again. And if that happens, that's that's two more flags. And not for nothing right now, all the armor's into the northern side. Actually, potentially even 3 flags.
Tigger could be a little bit more defensive with his T-34s down south and actually hide them in the forest for a bit rather than just right out in the open.
He's not afraid. He should be, but he's not afraid.
Oh.
The Kersantis, for example, getting hammered as well, but, you know, those guys are kind of used to it by now. Proletariat, in the meantime, in the northern side, trying to push back these Air/Truppen, successful in doing so. But every single time that they have this infantry just be, pushed back, P4 comes in. P4 has nobody that can actually be fought. I say that. But I also must notice that the Proletariat still do have those Panzerfausts.
They do.
And that Pack 40 still doth exist. And doth claim another kill.
Very good for the Pack 40. The Valkyries are pushing through the lung. That one lone Proletariat squad is going to have to hold off against a lot of Germans. Spoiler alert, they probably won't. But that flag and the center being captured should bring us to a 13-11 for Tigger, which means he can start scoring on the scoreboard, because by God, he kind of needs to.
True. There is a bit of an attempt here to start pushing the other direction, and I think we see a Marauder here soon enough. But, yeah, this is now going to be on Herr Robert's favor to have to claw this back, and there is a bit of a resurgent shove to the south. So here's the question: where do you put your bombers? Southern side or the central side at the lung?
Oh, that's tough actually. That's tough because I don't want to stop his southern push of mechanized troops at the same time. All these Valkyries are pretty. I'd say southern side is a bit more consistent because the guys are out in the open. Well, if you're bombing the lung, you're just kind of hoping that the guys in the forest are getting blapped.
That's true, and that's kind of where my thought was too. The funny thing for me though is that since there's so many different, just madmen down to the southern side of the whole, fanatical traits and all of that, you're allowing them to waste an awful lot of munitions, not really getting a whole lot for it. So, part of me almost says, let them shoot at me,
Yeah, That's kind of why he has them right in the front line, I would say. It's just race time, race ammunition. You're not just going to rush in with like an initial off-map strike and force him to surrender. You're going to have to kill every single one of him. And there's many ones of him.
Yes, there are. Kersantes over here against the Valkyries, and we're now going to see really just how ridiculously good the Kersantes actually are. The MD-42s, which always feel to me, again, like discount Thompsons.
Yeah. It's a very odd-looking SMG.
And more munitions are falling down between the Marauder and the Baltimore. And there goes half of the German advance. Yeah, that's really all I can say to that. It's just like, yowza.
He doesn't have a lot of airplanes in his deck, but by God, he's really getting his money's worth out of him.
Here's actually the really funny thing. Blinda's coming in. There's still a Panzerstruck squad in the area. So that's the Panzerstruck squad come running. Just really screw him up. Lung position in the meantime as well, though. Starting to engage a lot of these troops out in the open to the eastern side. And the Pack 40 is now getting pushed. There's a Pack 38 there also going to get pushed. It's a half-track rush, and I actually really like this decision.
Yeah, if the half-tracks get killed, it doesn't really matter too much. You kind of want him to lead the front, but Herr Robert doesn't have a whole lot of anti-tank guns left. And I think, actually, I mean, half-tracks are pushing so bloody aggressively, this is going to work. Look at that.
Well, the Pack 38, they're probably going to get the Pack 40. The Pack 38 should be able to shoot 2 of them.
Yeah, point blank, you can't miss.
He'll find a way, though. Oh, why are you retreating? No!
Pack 40 kill, that's a big kill, and the Pack 38 is, yeah, he's not a smart move.
Not a smart move indeed. More border chiefs coming in here to go after the lung. And, you know, Valkyries are going to be hard to push back. This is where you need to deploy your bombers. Now, you know the southern push is dead. For the enemy, that is. You still have an absolute metric butt-ton of troops down there. Like, there is truly, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, what are we going to call it? Approximately 20 squads.
Like a company, pretty much, at this point.
Oh, several companies. That's almost an entire, that's literally...
There's a company.
Okay, fine. Thinking companies like 80 dudes, so, you know.
That's like a... I guess it depends. But I think, like, I don't know, like 160-ish.
I guess I'm going German like company here for the war. Fair enough. No, but it's fair. But just again, absurd numbers of troops. This is now he's trying to go and try to reclaim the lung. If he can get that lung back, it's over. I truly believe if that lung is taken back, there's not a lot on the other side. And there still are things like these 75 mils that are just going to start lofting rounds downrange, trying to go and pick off kind of, you know, little nitpicky targets here and there.
Yeah. We've got the Blinder us now. I like us quite a lot. I mean, the Valkyries are just taking a whole heap of, like, just fire here. They're going to have to be forced back into the forest. That's going to give her Robert a good time get... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I see.
But here Robert's going to donate a couple of squads here at Borchi. And the Ju-87s are just doing a really, really good job of just shutting that down for half a second.
I love seeing just like the regular Stuka do like the little loop-de-loop thing.
Yep.
Oh, and I understand that at that point in the rule they didn't really do that anymore because it was just like suicide. But still, it's just... I love that they kept it in.
Well, the 12-7s are over that Mustang. Not killing the appropriate Stuka in my mind, but that's just me being nitpicky. Being very nitpicky, in fact. And the lung slowly is getting taken. Slowly. The question is it too slow?
It's probably a little bit too slow. I mean, time is really not on her Robert's side. I mean, both he has a slight income advantage, but Maverick Vanguard doesn't really matter. It's just really terms of equipment. He's lost a lot of his heavy and very limited anti-tank. And once again, if, you know, I mean, our Panzer IV up north is pretty much uncontested unless, you know, you bomb it to hell and back with the Baltimores and the Marders, but it's a Flak 88 now. And that Flak 88 can cause a bit of damage to heavy bombers.
It certainly can. And it doesn't help either that this one half-track continues to be behind the lines. It's just being a pain in the ass, for lack of a better phrase.
It's quite weird to see a half-track survive that long and actually be combat effective.
True, but it's also quite weird to see a partisan division be this effective and this efficient for as long as it has been.
There's so many dudes to throw into the front line.
I mean, this is the meme machine, and I mean that as respectfully as possible. But, like, right now, bomb the town. No, don't bomb the center. Baltimore don't need to go there, my friend. Marauder, bomb the town. On your own troops, it doesn't matter. Flatten the town.
Yeah, these Valkyries, and I mean, we just see a whole lot of fire support here of the Grill and the T-34s. The Valkyries, of course, have a lot of firepower within themselves, but yeah, just out in the open, this is asking just to get blown down and back.
Baltimore going down. Kind of getting hit by just ground fire in general, I believe. But we are over here, and I think Herr Robert might, like you said, finally be seeing that there's a little bit of writing on the wall. It's a little hard to make out. He's not sure what it says just yet. Because he is picking up a couple of cheeky flags here and there. And is there, at long last, the Marauder being brought on in? Yes, the Marauder's coming in. And folks, we're going to see the closest thing to Hiroshima that we're going to get on this game. Skadoosh. And there we go. You have 7 squads, you know, either destroyed, stressed, everything like that. And he's bored you for some reason. At this point, turn off your fire, my friend. Just rush on in. There's no one left to contest you.
Yeah. You need a really... That's a very critical moment to just run into the town and get into cover here. But, yeah, it's just a missed micro from her, Robert, unfortunately. The Panzer IV also pushing up a little bit to ward off that one Borshi. Yeah, it's still going to be tough, because that one Panzer IV and the flat guns, whatever, can pretty much screen out that area. Really, her Robert's best bet is just holding on to that town up north. That is.
I think right now it's only 13-11. It's 13-11 against the partisan division. This should not be happening. And it's going to be 12-12 in a second as the Borchi finally get in. Hopefully debark before they get shot out of their truck. Because Valkyrie are falling back, so this could be a surrender. These McLeod Grenadiers are running pretty much their Winchester on everything that matters. They have STGs over here in the one squad, but that's a shrunken squad. It's going to be a shrunken squad pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of firepower. And the Proletariat also pushing in close. They do have the Panzerfaust. If they just get into the building, they can kill that dastardly half-track finally.
And they do. And they do. So it's a 12-12. The partisan division. Down to the south, it should be a 12-12 in a second again as this T-34 finally gets taken on out. The Commandeer comes on in. He's PIATing, so don't expect too much, folks. But the PIAT has been deadly enough before. And, wow. That was very good. Yeah, that was just an HE charge.
Imagine being a, like, Yugoslav partisan, right? You get the airdrop from the SRE or SRS, you know, the American Brits, whatever. Mm-hmm. They open up the crate. And it's like, oh, anti-tank, open up. They sent us a PIAT. We couldn't get a bazooka? Like, what's this? Same thing with, like, the fighters in Warsaw. Like, Jesus Christ, we're fighting for our lives here, and you sending us PIATs?
Who did you piss off? This way. Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is that you're looking at a lot of these partisan divisions, and God help me, again, like we talked about last time about the flamethrowers, I can't even imagine just being like, yeah, you got to fight with whatever you found, or whatever you found, man. You find that guy's got a set of dentures, you bite that, and the next guy in the throat. Like it's ridiculous just to think about the stuff they went through.
Yeah, especially in Yugoslavia, it was pretty brutal. The entire front of the war. Especially, I mean, it's the Balkans. What do you expect?
But the funny thing is, it's 12-12 right about now. The flags are very, very similar. The tickets are decently similar. No, in the Borgi, for some reason, debark. I thought these guys were headed up. Yep, one's going for one flag. A little optimistically, I feel. But one's going for one flag, and I feel like if these pioneers go down in the southern town, this could be like just a shock over here at the end of it all.
Yeah. It's very close.
And normally the funny thing is we see the southern town just become a meat grinder, and it sort of was. Sort of.
Hmm.
But this ended up being a fascinating experience, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's just very bloody back and forth here. Just the partisans just really, it's just it's kind of like with the SS pose,
Mm-hmm.
and that Tigger does drop out because this
Mm-hmm.
is the 30-minute tournament. So good job to her, Robert. He managed to hold barely until relieved.
Well, I'm relieved for him. I mean, the Marauder's got, what, 7 kills? 7 kills right there from the Marauder. Another Marauder, 5 more kills from him. Pioneery, strong. The Commandeer. So, this is the Commandeer in the north. He had 4 Piat rounds. He killed 4 vehicles.
He made that Piat work.
Act 75, the capture 75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vehicles there. These partisans, not to be outfought, definitely punching above their weight here. Ridiculously so.
Yeah, Robert really made good use of his very limited anti-tank and also just the aircraft. Yeah, really, between that and just the human rave tactics, that's pretty much how you have to play at Division. You human rave, you hold on to any town or forest area, and then bomb everything to hell and back.
Absolutely. But the funny thing is, you look at the losses, you have a P3 over your Gent. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squads there. The SPW by lots. He killed lots of individuals right there, let me tell you. And it just, I can't help but wonder what would have been had there been just a little bit more artillery.
Yeah, it's very close there. With the 30-minute rule set, it does require you to push quite aggressively, and it was just gaps within Tigger's line that match, which her Robert managed to exploit, like right at the end, pushing on through in the south and central position to get those few flags to stop a heavy point bleed. Yeah, it was a pretty clutch move there from Robert.
It absolutely was. It absolutely was. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do castings for games like this here. So, truly well done to Robert for winning with the Partisans. Nice to see those guys being featured here. Tigger, unfortunately, not pulling out the victory on that one, despite a very, very good push on that northern side. I think, man, had he just tried to contain on the southern side, he would have been just perfect.
Yeah.
But, of course, much easier for us to say that from where we sit over here after the fact and with 2020 vision. So, well fought regardless. Any final thoughts on your side, sir?
No, I don't.
Guys, in that case, then, that's going to do it for us today. We'll see you next time. I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, take it easy.